Here is a shape on a grid. For each of the 4 sentences below, put a tick if it is true, put a cross if it is not true. First, the shape is a quadrilateral. That's true because a quadrilateral is a 4-sided shape, and we have a kite because we have these 2 shorter lengths, then these 2 longer lengths, and then this angle here is the same size as this angle here. So that's a kite, and because it has 4 sides, every 4-sided shape is a quadrilateral. Now the shape has 2 lines of symmetry. So with a line of symmetry, you can draw a line down the middle so that you have the same reflected on both sides. So here we can see that we have one line of symmetry, but this line here is not a line of symmetry. We don't have the same reflected on both sides, because we can see to get to this point we go up 2, but to get to this point we need to go down 4. So that's not a line of symmetry. So the shape only has one line of symmetry. Now the shape is a parallelogram. With a parallelogram, opposite sides will be parallel, and parallel lines are lines that would go on forever if we extended them without ever crossing. But none of the lines on this shape are parallel. If we were to extend this line here and this line here, they would eventually cross, and so would our other 2 lines. So this shape is not a parallelogram, it's a kite. Now the shape has one right angle. So a right angle, remember, is like the corner of a piece of paper or the corner of this screen. And this angle here is a right angle because we can go 2 down and 2 across, so down and across by the same number to get to this point, and we can go 2 down, 2 across, so down and across by the same number to get to this point here. So we have a right angle. This graph shows the height of a balloon at different times. From the graph, find the height of the balloon at 50 seconds. So we have the time in seconds along the bottom. So what we can do is find 50 seconds, draw a line up to where it hits the line on our line graph, and then draw a line across. We can see that it's between 40 and 50, and this line between them must be 45. Now our line is just above that, so I would estimate that we have 46 meters, and you also get the mark for an answer of 47 meters. Now use the graph to find how long it took the balloon to rise from 30 meters to 60 meters. So we have the height in meters on the side, so we can find 30 meters, draw a line across, and then a line down from where it hits the line on our line graph. We can see that that's right in the middle of 20 and 30, so that's 25 seconds. Now we can find 60 meters, draw a line across, then a line down, and we can see that that's 80 seconds. So we need to know how long it took to rise from this level to this level. So we need to find the difference, which means we can subtract, and 80 minus 25 is 55. So it took 55 seconds to rise from 30 meters to 60 meters, because if we have 25 seconds, another 55 seconds takes us to 80 seconds. Here is a pattern on a grid. What percentage of the grid is shaded? So we know that a percentage is a fraction which has a denominator of 100. But here we don't have 100 squares. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 squares altogether, and 10 of those squares are shaded. So we have 10 pieces shaded and 25 pieces altogether. So as a fraction, we have 10 over 25. Now we can change that to a percentage by finding an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. 25 times 4 is 100, 10 times 4 is 40. So because we have 10 pieces out of 25, and that's equivalent to having 40 out of 100, we know that 40% is shaded. Tick the two weights which are the same. We have 1.5 kilograms, 1 kilogram 50 grams, 15 kilograms 150 grams, and 1,500 grams. So the weights which are the same are 1.5 kilograms and 1,500 grams, because remember, there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so if we have 1.5 kilograms, we have 1,500 grams. 1 kilogram 50 grams will be 1,050 grams, because 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. 15 kilograms will be 15,000 grams. So we need 1.5 kilograms and 1,500 grams. The shaded shape is an isosceles triangle. Write in the missing coordinate. So we have a missing y-coordinate for this point here, and the y-axis, we look to the left. Now it's a good idea to plot what we have, what we can find out on the axes. So if we take this point here, we can see that the y-coordinate is 8, and if we take this point here, we can see that the y-coordinate is 18. But we need to know the y-coordinate for this point here. Now we're told that the shape is an isosceles triangle, and with an isosceles triangle, we have a line of symmetry down the middle, so we have the same on both sides. So because this distance here is 10, the difference between 8 and 18 is 10, the difference here will be 10 as well, and 18 plus 10 is 28, so that's our missing y-coordinate. Complete the reflection of this pattern in the mirror line. So we need the same on both sides. We have a pattern with circles, so what we can do is count circles from the mirror line. So for this circle here, we can see that we go across 1 and then shade. So in the other direction, we go across 1 and then shade. For this circle, we go across 1, 2, 3 and then shade. So in the other direction, we go across 1, 2, 3 and then shade. Here we go across 1, 2 and then shade. So we go across 1, 2 and then shade. And then here it's the first circle, so it will be the first circle on the other side, and we have our reflection. Here are 4 number cards. We have 3, 12, 7 and 4. Which 2 number cards are factors of 42? So a number is a factor of 42 if we can divide 42 by the number without getting a remainder. So if we try dividing 42 by 3, we can use short division, and we can see that we get a whole number as our answer. We don't get a number with a remainder, so we know that 3 is one of our factors. 42 divided by 3 is 14, and that tells us that 14 times 3 is 42. So 42 is in the 3 times table. Now 12 is not a factor because 42 is not in the 12 times table. So if we divide 42 by 12, we'll get a remainder. But 42 is in the 7 times table because 6 times 7 is 42. And if we divide 42 by 7, we get 6. We get a number that does not have a remainder. So 7 is our other factor. 4 is not a factor because 42 is not in the 4 times table. A shop sells packs of sweets. Each pack has 1 red sweet and 2 green sweets. Sam buys some packs so that he has 4 red sweets. How many green sweets does he have? So in each pack, he gets 1 red sweet and 2 green sweets. But he has 4 red sweets altogether. 1 times 4 is 4. So if we do the same for the green sweets, 2 times 4 is 8. So he has 8 green sweets. Circle all the numbers that are multiples of 4. So a multiple of 4 is a number in the 4 times table. So 8 is a multiple of 4 because 2 times 4 is 8, or 8 divided by 4 is 2. 24 is a multiple of 4 as well because 6 times 4 is 24, or because we can divide 24 by 4 and we get a whole number. 5 is not a multiple of 4 because that's not in the 4 times table, and if we divide 5 by 4 we get 1 remainder 1, so we get a remainder. And 30 is not a multiple of 4 because that's not in the 4 times table either. But 12 is a multiple of 4 because 3 times 4 is 12. Lake School collected 10p coins for charity. They raised £31.50. How many 10p coins did they collect? So here we need to divide £31.50 by 10p. So if we change this amount into pence, we have 3,150p. So we can divide that by 10. And that gives us 315. Because remember, if we have a multiple of 10 and we divide by 10, we can just take off the end 0. So they collected 315 coins. Now the other way to solve this is to count up in steps of 10p until we get to £31.50. So if we have 10 coins, that's £1. Then if we want £10, we can times by 10, and 10 times 10 is 100. Then to get to £30, we can times by 3, and 100 times 3 is 300. Then we can get to £31 by adding another 10 coins, so that's 310. And then, because we want £31.50, that's another 5 10p coins for the extra 50p. So we get 315 coins as our answer.